Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to another YouTube comments Q&A edition. So the first comment here is from Amigo Akito, and it's on the how to film, a dialogue scene. It's an old filmmaking tutorial I did a while ago, and it's the comment is, "Hi, for those different angles when the girls were talking, do you need more than one camera?" And question is, well, you don't need more than one camera. If you have more than one camera, you can for sure use it. It would be most film scenes that are actually lit are usually shot with one camera. So you do kind of one angle on one person talking, then you flip your camera and the lights and everything, and you do the other angle. The reason why you do that is because once you light somebody to look good from one angle, they usually don't look good from the other angle, or just the lights might be in the shot, that kind of stuff. That's why in movies, usually that's how it's done. Now if you're doing a live interview kind of a setup, that's when lighting can get kind of more tricky, because you really have to hide the lights and the cameras, and you have to sort of try to basically get the cameras to almost shoot directly towards each other or opposite directions. That can be more complicated, and also usually that means that the lighting is not as nice or as creative as you can get in a film where you're just shooting with one camera. Now if you're shooting outside, like I'm showing in this tutorial, then yeah, you can, because you're just using the sun basically to light it. You might have some reflectors, but it's usually not a problem hiding it. But I would still advise, if you're doing a film, if you can, just do one camera, because you're kind of just gonna concentrate and make sure that whatever you're seeing in that angle looks good. So when it comes to like I said, the shot itself, but also the performance of the actor. If you're not really seeing the other actor, you're just seeing over the shoulder, you don't really worry about capturing that actor's performance. You will once you switch the camera to the other angle. So hopefully that answers your question. And next comment is from Cody Osborne. That's on my Sony A7S camera review. And the comment is, "Help! I'm currently looking for a camera that I can start getting into videography. I'll be filming cars for the most of the videos in a wide range of lighting conditions and locations. I need a camera that will accommodate a substantial amount of wide open scenery, as well as one that will do close-up detailed clips. Most importantly, it needs to be able to take good dynamic shots of cars driving, and one that can get slow motion shots. Any advice? Should I get a DSLR or a camcorder? I'm currently looking at GH4, A7S, 60D, or those good choices are those good choices for my needs?" Yeah, I mean, to be honest, any of those three cameras you mentioned would work. If you're asking my personal opinion, I think you should go with the GH4. Reason is because you're getting better slow motion than the other two cameras, which is the A7S that you mentioned and the 60D, the Canon 60D. Also, GH4 has internal 4K, so you're getting a lot bigger resolution. Also, since you're going to be doing a lot of shots with cars, so a lot of it, I'm guessing, is going to be moving, driving shots, and it's going to be a lot of basically shaky camera work. If you shoot those shots at really high shutter speeds, so there's not a lot of motion blur, then you can then easily take that footage, whether it's After Effects, Premiere, and use the warp stabilizer to stabilize those shots and make it look super smooth, even though you're driving, really high speeds. So my choice would be the Panasonic GH4. And next comment is from Upon2, and it's on my no budget film war lighting tutorial. And the comment is, "Nice tutorial, mate. Thank you. This is extremely helpful. Are you still using the same GH4 camera settings as you were some time ago? Contrast -5, sharpness -2, NR, noise removal 0, saturation -2, and hue 0. If I don't remember if those are the exact settings that I showed in my GH4 review and tutorial, but if they were, for a lot of stuff where I don't know where I'm going to be shooting, yeah, that's what I use it for. Now, for example, this Comments Edition, I'm shooting on my GH4, and for this I'm using completely different setting because I'm using a completely different profile. I'm not using the Cine V, but the Cine D, the dynamic, more dynamic also the range. I'm using the Cine V actually, because I want a video that kind of is sort of ready straight out of the camera. I can just edit it and don't have to do color corrections, since I don't really have a lot of time to do these videos. So, to answer your question, if it's a video where I'm not really sure what I'm going to be shooting and I want the most possible dynamic range, yes, I'll shoot in those settings. But sometimes I might, for a specific project, I might be adjusting those settings you know, and I might even create a specific profile just for that certain project, for example. So there's a film I shot a few months ago, which most of it is day for night. So I created a profile that already is, it's going to be a lot easier for me to color correct it and make it look like day for night. So that's the kind of, I would say my answer is, I guess, yes and no. I'm using it, like I said, if for a specific project, if I have time to prepare, I'm going to create still a custom profile just for that project. Next comment is from Sawyer Hele, and it's on the car scene tutorial. And the comment is, this is completely random, but I feel like you might be able to help me. What is a good lens for filmmaking with the Canon Rebel T5i, and also what is a good lens to have everything in focus at once? So a good lens, I would say, depending on what stage you are at, if you're just starting out, pretty much the kit lens, the zoom lens that comes with it, is probably a good lens because it allows you to, like I said, go wide and kind of zoom in. You know, the Rebel, you know, the T5i comes with a good kit lens already. It has two options actually. One has a longer range and one has a shorter range. Now it's not the greatest when it comes to the speed or the aperture. It's not very, it doesn't open very wide. So if you already have that lens and you want to kind of upgrade, the next one I would say, or I usually tell people, is get the Canon 50mm f1.8 actually. The 1.4 is good too, but I find the f1.8 is a bit sharper. It's still very sharp, fast lens, and it's just a good lens for, like, I shoot majority of my work on that lens. It just simply looks good, makes faces look good, like it's a good portrait lens, you know, that kind of stuff. Now if you want a wide angle lens, it's also a lens that is going to keep everything in focus, then you basically want a really wide angle lens, because the wider or the shorter the focal length, the more in focus everything is. So I would get, I like, for example, my favorite is the Rokinon 14mm, yeah, f2.8. It's a really cool lens. It's very fast too, nice and sharp, and you know, on a like a, you know, APS-C size camera, it's still a pretty nice wide angle lens, and you can very easily just close it down to maybe f5, f6, and you're gonna get, you know, a really pretty much almost infinite depth of field. So it's gonna keep everything in focus. Next comment is from Cristobal Yu, and the comment is, hello Tom, are you from Ecuador? I know I go to Ecuador a lot. I go to Ecuador pretty much every year. No, I'm not Ecuadorian. I'm actually originally from Poland, but I have family from Ecuador, so that's the reason why I go there often. And also Ecuador is just a really cool, beautiful country. So if you haven't been to Ecuador, you know, little plug, make sure you go there, you know, just whether it's, you want to see the wild virgin jungle of the Amazon, you can see that. You want to see the highest active volcano in the world, you can see that there too. Beautiful mountains, you can also see beautiful coast, you know, beaches, and even the Galapagos, so Ecuador. Next one is from Julio Cesar Hernandez on the Came Mini 3-axis gimbal review. Hello, what is the best camera for video with these options, or if you know, what would be a better option? And he lists Nikon D70, Canon XC10, and Panasonic Lumix GH4 with this lens, Sigma 35. Well, I would say that out of those options, you know, again, because my preference, and that's the camera I like to use the most, is the Panasonic Lumix GH4. I think it's just a great all-around camera, even good for photos. You know, it might not be as good as some of the other higher-end Canon DSLRs. But for video, definitely, it's like a proper video camera with some really advanced features in it. So, and plus it's a very small camera and it's very affordable. So GH4 all the way. Another one is from Arima44 on the Big Wild North short film that I did last. And it's, why did he have to kill the dragon? I guess you'd have to ask the hunter. Why did he have to shoot him? I don't know. It's maybe I wrote the script to make you think about it. If you guys find the answer, let me know in the comments below. Another question from the same user, Tom, and on the same video, on the Big Wild North short film. Tom, did you use any sharpen filter here? Nope, I didn't use any sharpen filter. I have actually the sharpening turned all the way down in my Canon 7D, which is what I used to shoot that film. Another comment is from Michelle Jones, or yeah, I think it's Michelle Jones, and it's on the real life Angry Birds video. What software did you use to make this? It's amazing. Thank you. To edit, you know, Adobe Premiere, but for doing the actual animation of the Angry Birds, I used Maya. I forgot what version it was. It was 2011 or 12. It was back in the day, but pretty much any version of Maya you get, you'll be able to do that. It's pretty basic animation. Another question is from Carol G. I want a camera to basically film myself singing on trips, film myself in HD. Someone offered me a Sony NEX5R and someone else offered me a Sony NEX F3 for $200 less. What would you do? Thank you so much. Well, if someone's offering you both cameras, I would take both of them. But if you only have to choose one, simply because I know it more, I would say the Sony NEX5R. This comment is actually on my review of that camera, and if you watch that review, you'll see that that camera is very small but very cool. It's actually my sort of go-to camera when I'm traveling for home videos because it's the smallest. It takes great photos, but also takes really good HD video. Is it as good as some of the newest cameras out there, or 4K cameras like the GH4 or Sony A7R II? No, it's not, because it shoots 1080p, and the 1080p is not even as sharp as like like the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema, for example, camera. But it's still pretty damn good HD video. So if you want my opinion, I would say the Sony NEX5R. Another comment from France Junior Baptiste. Antos, this is my very first comment on your post, and I just want to say you're the best. I'm a big fan, and your works are amazing. Thank you. I learn a lot from you, and still trying to get better. I want to become a great filmmaker just like you. Did you go to film school or learn by yourself? You are the best. Well, thank you for all the compliments. No, I didn't go to film school. I actually did apply to, like when I was younger, I wanted to direct and make animated films. So I applied to animation school, and I didn't get in, not because I didn't qualify, but actually because I applied too late and they already filled up their roster of students. So I was told to wait another year. So I didn't even get into that, but instead of wasting basically a year to apply, basically, the following year, I just ended up kind of working on my little animation demo reel, went then to different animation companies, applied, got a few job offers, and this was basically straight out of high school. Like I said, I applied. People liked my demo reel, I guess. I kind of to make that demo reel, I locked myself in my house literally for it was almost 3 months, and I just did animation and drawings and all that stuff, and that's how I think what made my demo reel kind of stand out above from other people. And then, like I said, I would just go in and to find the address in the phone book. This was back in the day before internet, and I just went in and started knocking on people, on different companies' doors, different animation companies, and you'd be surprised because you might think that people are just welcoming me and then like, oh yeah, here, let's talk. No, when you're a nobody and you're starting out at the beginning, it's very hard to break through because you got to impress somebody, and that's kind of what happened to me. So I was going, nobody wanted to talk to me. I kind of then ended up lying to certain security guards and people. Not that I'm suggesting you should do that, but basically I had to do that just to get into the building of some of those companies. Got in there, talked to the secretary. Sometimes I would even just completely straight out lie and just tell them I have an appointment with so-and-so at your company. Turns out even though I didn't, the secretary would sometimes take my demo reel, and I knew that most of them would probably just toss it to the garbage the second I left. But some of them were like, oh, well, I'm gonna try to see if get somebody to look at your demo reel. And that's kind of what happened. Is I submitted all these demo reels to, I think it was around maybe 10, 15 different companies, I forget now. And then nobody called me for a few months. I kind of got depressed, started working with my dad, my dad had a construction company. And I thought that's what I was going to end up doing for the rest of my life. And anyways, and then, like I said, after a few months, I actually started getting calls. And some people were like, hey, we happen to see your demo reel, come by for a meeting. Went in, got a job. It wasn't a paying job because, again, I was a nobody with no education other than high school. So I got a few job offers that were non-paying, just kind of co-op. Went in there, started working, and after about a year, I started getting paid, doing animated films. Then I worked on a bunch of different animated films. I worked, even on big productions, like, with special effects or animated films. I think the biggest film I worked on was, I think it was like around $70 million budget. So it was a pretty cool experience. But as I worked more and more on animation, I kind of realized that animation itself, even though I enjoyed it, wasn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted to actually write the stories, direct the stories, and actually make the films myself. And that's kind of how I ended up kind of transitioning into films. And next comment is on the Real Life Angry Birds video again. It's from Bangaru Van Kla, I'll just let you guys read in the comments, I just don't want to butcher the name. Anyways, it's hi Tom Antos, I really like your YouTube video series. I'm so curious to know about how much time and effort did you put to make this kind of videos. So to make that video specifically, to film it was very quick because it was like a last minute thing before Daystorm had to leave. I think it took us like an hour or maybe even 40 minutes to film it. It was very quick. But to do the actual video, like do all the effects and editing and the music and sound effects, was almost 3 months. And that was like 3 months of non-stop work. And then next question, I believe, yes. Do you do this full-time or do you do it when you have time on weekends? Well, I do it full-time. How much time do you give daily to make these videos? Do you make it at home or do you go to some professional studio? Well, my professional studio is at home, so I do it at home. And I devote literally like 12, 14 hours a day if I can. So it really just depends if I have other family, commitments, stuff like that. What kind of tools do you use to record these videos? That one specifically was recorded on the Canon 7D camera. How much money do you spend on this and how much money do you generate from YouTube monetization? How much money do you spend on that video? Nothing, because I mean, I had the camera and I just, like I said, Daystorm was there and my other friends, so we just shot the video for free and then I did all the work myself for free. How much I generate from YouTube, I can't tell you because it's in breach of the YouTube contract. It's not a lot. If you're thinking of doing this to get rich, I'll just tell you, find another job. But if you just want to do it because you want to have fun, doing stuff on YouTube is thing. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get rich. There are some people who are getting millions and millions of views on YouTube and like on regular basis, and yeah, you can make really good money on that point. But I'm definitely not one of those people, unfortunately. If I was, I would maybe even devote my full time to YouTube. But although, like I said, most of my time I spend working on actual films or music videos, and YouTube is sort of what I use to contact other filmmakers or to share my filmmaking knowledge. What else is there? Is it a good idea to make a video and give it for free rather than writing a book? I think if you're gonna make a video, then yeah, give it to as many people as you can, because why would you make it if not for other people to see it, right? So try to get as many people to see it. Is it better than writing a book? I can't tell you because I've never written a book. And share your tips to make this kind of exclusive YouTube channel. Should we make these kinds of videos? I think he's asking. And again, it just comes down to you. If you're interested, you like making videos, then YouTube is a great platform because you can come and you can kind of reach a big audience. So just go for it. If it's something that you like, just bear with me. Ignore those sounds of construction going next door, and also just kind of going through all the comments. And there's a lot of comments to go through, so I'm just looking through the most interesting ones. All of their faces remind me of sitting on a toilet. That's a comment from fan of VG on the best headphones review. And I guess all I can say is, man, you must have some really interesting toilet experience. All right, next one. Nice review. Congrats on your new edition that is on the way. Thank you very much. This is a comment from Derek K1 on my Aperture Lightstorm review. And $695 for that light seems a little on the high side. Perhaps with time the price will reduce down a bit. I'll feel comfortable in the $400 to $450 range, but basically at $700 it's just a little on the steep side. Anyway, just my thoughts, but again, good review and very informative as always. This is another piece of equipment that I'll keep in mind. Yeah, definitely, like I said, if you're starting out, a lot of equipment I would say is you shouldn't worry about just because it's too expensive about acquiring it, because you can get similar results with a lot of other equipment, or sometimes even identical results, but it's just going to take you, with like equipment that's do-it-yourself or just whatever lights you have at home. The difference in acquiring some of these like high-end professional lights like this one, the Lightstorm from Aperture, is the fact that they're just really well-built lights. They're easy to operate, quicker to set up. Those are the kind of differences. So definitely, yeah, if the price comes down, I'll be happy because I'll probably get a couple more of these lights. But like I said, yeah, so it just really comes down to your budget, and definitely don't think that just because you can't afford the light that you can't get the same results as somebody else who's working with a bigger budget. Another comment is on my wireless lavalier microphone review. That one's from Bruce Pass. I've been using the Sennheiser model you're reviewing, and it came with a hot shoe. I have 2 sets and they're great. Rode Link sounds good as well, but Sennheiser is the best. It has auto scan, which comes in handy when you shoot in a big city. Bruce Normandy Productions. Well, yeah, the model that I got, Sennheiser, didn't come with hot shoe mount and didn't really come with any extras. And also, if you're trying to say that the Rode Link doesn't do that, doesn't have auto scan, which switches between different frequencies, it actually does do that. It has, I forgot how many channels, but it basically switches between all the different channels constantly, and in fact has 2 live channels at the same time. So one is sending communication between the transmitter and the receiver, while the other one's constantly looking for other cleaner frequencies around. Also, the reason why I like the Rode Link better is, aside from the fact that it's half the price or even less than half the price, is the fact that the Rode Link wireless microphone system uses the 2.4 gigahertz. Sorry guys, there's always some sounds around here. Anyways, okay, hopefully you can hear me now. So the Rode Link uses 2.4 gigahertz sound frequency and frequency for the signal. That's actually the same kind of frequency that you'd use for your Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So if you have a lot of Wi-Fi signals between you and the receiver, that might create some problems. Although most cases, like I've been using it, there's Wi-Fi pretty much everywhere now, and I still haven't had any problems. So it's just, I know Rode says you could have more problems, but the great thing about that is that it's on a frequency that's available widely to public use in any country pretty much around the world. Versus what Sennheiser uses, some of the frequencies that they're using right now on their systems is already outlawed in certain countries. I know in Europe, in certain places, and I believe in Asia too. So that's one thing you might want to watch out for, is that by using some of those older UHF radio frequencies, you might actually be breaking the law. So if you get caught by police or whatever transmitting on that frequency, it could cost you a lot. Another comment on my Sony a7S review. This one's from Damien Gonzalo Perez. Hi, I have a 70D and I want to add another one to my equipment. I have around $2,500 for body, and I'm between 5D Mark III or the A7S. I mostly use my camera for videos, very different profiles, and add lots on post. What do you recommend? Definitely go with the Sony A7S. It's cheaper, shoots better quality HD video. Like the HD on the A7S is just sharper, it's actually truer HD, versus 5D Mark III is kind of soft, has better compression ratio like the codec than the 5D. Also has slow motion, like actual true real slow motion that the 5D doesn't have, and it's also a lot cheaper. So and it has wider dynamic range. It's amazing in low light. Plus, if you get an external recorder, you can record 4K. So there's really no reason, I would say, to ever even look right now at the Canon DSLRs. Pretty much any Canon DSLR, if you're gonna ask me, I'll tell you it's a waste of money for what they're charging right now and what the competition charges and the kind of things that they offer in there. It's a no choice. Another comment on the Big Wild North short film from Godilla Co. Hey, great video. I'm impressed by the acting. How did you do the shot at 205? Did you rig something outside the car? Cheers, Olaf. Yes, actually that shot is, well, it's basically, it was, because the window is up, the windshield, or the glass is up, I couldn't use my door mount on there, so because of that I actually had to use a special effect. So that shot is actually static against the green screen, and I made it look like we're driving. So I might actually be end up doing a tutorial on something like that. But if you want to see, actually, I already did actually a very detailed tutorial. It takes about 2 hours, and it's in my Lighting Dozen series of tutorials, which these are exclusive tutorials. Yes, you have to pay for them, but they're only $32. I show you a whole bunch of lighting setups, and also even like some of these kind of camera tricks or special effects tricks. And it's on my website, tomantosfilms.com/store. You can check it out, or if you just go to my website, click on the store, and then you'll see Lighting Dozen. Highly recommend it. Aside from just learning how to get this kind of a shot, you'll learn how to get some other really kind of cool advanced camera, like setups. One more comment from Thomas Anthony. That's on my cinematic test and the Sony NEX5R review. And the question is, huge difference between this one and the NEX5K or B? No, there is no big difference if you're asking in terms of video quality. those are all pretty much the same cameras, and they have the same sensor, the same compression. It's just like they're basically were further updates to the camera, but they're very small updates. So again, for the photo side, there's going to be some little difference in the way that you take the photos, but it's not even in quality. It's for photos, it's not a big difference. But for video, there's no difference between these cameras. So if you're just looking for a video, I would say get any of the NEX cameras. So if you get find a NEX5 whatever model that's used, for example, on eBay. I've seen them even as cheap as $150 out there. If that's if that's what you find, I would get it because it's a great HD camera. And the final comment is on my Killing Love short film, and it's from father and son. That's what drugs do to kids. I think it's a statement, and I think he's referring to the girl in the film, I hope, because she basically the female hero, whatever character in that film, is a little crazy. Yeah, I guess I would have to agree with you. That's what drugs do to kids, or do they? Or maybe, well, I don't know, maybe some drugs are good, like pharmaceuticals, if your doctor prescribed them. Although, then again, I don't know, I heard a statistic recently that pharmaceutical drugs, even in the US, I think kill more people than guns do. So, anyways, you know what, I'm just rambling, so just ignore, don't trust anything I say. One thing you can trust is if you guys want more information about filmmaking, or if you have any suggestions, questions for me, leave it all in the comments in the comment section below. Let me know. I'm definitely going to be doing more of these Q&A, YouTube comment Q&A kind of videos. Just sort of so I can finish my rambling here. If you guys want other filmmaking tutorials, or if you want to see my past work, my films, music videos, that kind of stuff, or just find a lot of cool, interesting information about filmmaking related, definitely make sure you go check out my website. Also under there, I have that lighting dozen tutorial that I mentioned, and a few other exclusive tutorials. So make sure you go tomantosfilms.com. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.